Hey guys, it's Sharmise Idris here from Charmed Bath and Body, and today is a day, I guess like any other, except that is my 1 year anniversary of being on YouTube. So in honor of that anniversary, I figured I would pick out some of the most frequently asked questions that I get about my personal life and some about my business life that I have not answered yet. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy. So I chose these 13 questions from the questions that I get most often from my subscribers. People message me and ask me about business things, and then somehow we become friends, which is great because I suck at making friends because I'm an introvert in the middle of a pandemic, so you know, suck at that. But yes, so they would ask me questions, and if I've got the question more than 3 times, I just went ahead and listed it in the past year, and I came up with these 13 questions. So the first question I get, and that is the most frequent question, is where am I from? Because some words I say have a country twang to them, other ones do not at all. So I am from Cleveland, Ohio. I live in Greenville, South Carolina. I have also lived in California and Philadelphia. So whenever I live somewhere, I like to pick up some parts of the lingo and just mush it all together. So even though I don't sound anything like Philly, because that's a whole different world, but yeah, so I'm from Cleveland, but I was mostly raised in Greenville, South Carolina. The second question I get is how old am I? I actually answered that in one of my last videos. I'm 27. My birthday is July 19th. So another question I get frequently is, am I married and do I have kids? I do not have any children whatsoever. I don't really want any anytime soon because, yeah, no, that's just not in the plan. Of course, if they come, I will love them forever. But no, I do not want children right now. And I'm also not married. I have been in a relationship with my boyfriend for 6 years, 6 beautiful years. And yeah, it's great. And I guess another question will come out of that. Why aren't you married yet? But I'm really focused on paying off all the debt I got. I'm almost done, so this year I will pay off the rest of my debt. But yeah, no, it's just when it happens, and it's gonna be great when it happens. So yeah, no kids, no husband, just a beautiful man in my life. Another question I get is about my hobbies, because in my my tour of my studio, I did mention that I love to dance and that I have my degree in dance, which I really do. I went to college for dance. I can pop some pictures if I can find them, because that was a little minute ago. I taught hip hop for 4 years, and I loved it, but I rather dance instead of teach, so I stopped doing that. But I'm also in the process of learning how to play violin. I once learned to play piano, and now my boyfriend got me a all black violin, which is my favorite color. I like to jump from hobby to hobby just so I don't get bored. I do want to learn to bake and everything like that. Not really cook, just bake. Cookies, cakes, whatever. Yeah, just a bunch of different things I like to learn to do. But most of all, I love to dance. So this next question is a question I have been getting my whole life. So I don't find it rude anymore. I'm just kind of used to it. People ask me what I'm mixed with. And at this point in my life, well, actually all of my life, I've just said I'm black, and that's it. Black, yes, I know I have green and hazel eyes, and my legs are the color of sour cream, but I am black. But more honestly, I have a great-great-grandma who was Irish and a great-great-granddad who was from Spain, and some Native American, you know, everybody pretty much. Creek, Iroquois, and I can't remember, I think Navajo. But if you just look at my bloodline, most of the people are African American, so I am black. And that is what I identify as, because that is what I am. So another question I get is, do I have any other tattoos than the one here? Which I guess is apparent in a lot of videos, which is why I've gotten that question a couple times. I do have other tattoos down my spine. I have But Still Like Air, I'll Rise. And then my first tattoo was actually on my ribs, and I drew it. It is very simple, but it has so much meaning. I'll put a picture on the screen now, but it is a mix of a sound wave and a heartbeat from my mother from the last time I saw her, because I was recording for a dance I was doing in college and I needed her voice, and so that ended up being the last time I saw her. So I just took the heartbeat from there, or I'm sorry, the sound wave from there, and made it look like a heartbeat. And so it's her calling me her sunshine. I didn't get one for my dad because I don't think he liked tattoos, so I just decided not to do that. But yes, I have 3 tattoos: ribs, spine, and here. Okay, so now we're getting into the more interesting questions of what motivates me. I've gotten into conversations with people and they just say they don't, some days they just don't feel like doing anything, or you know, they get a bad review so they don't want to keep going. So they ask what motivates me. Honestly, young Charmise motivates me because I was raised in a very poor environment, and so I decided that I never wanted to live like that again. So I decided that I was going to pull myself out of poverty, and also to help people. So it kind of went hand in hand with this YouTube channel, my businesses, and you know, just try not to be poor. So that motivates me when I don't feel like doing anything, because I do suffer from depression. So it is hard to sometimes motivate myself. But if you saw my video on the tour of my studio, you saw that I have this giant picture of myself when I was little. And so, yep, I just look at that, I'm like, okay, get it together, girl, because you know what you've been through. Let's not do this again. And when I bring children into the world, if I bring children into the world, they're not going to go through that. So let's go ahead and do this work now. And I also just love what I do. So that helps way more than anything else. I genuinely love creating and trying to figure out, you know, formulas and stuff like that. So that is very rewarding to me. So that motivates me every day, almost every day. Some days I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to go do something else. I'm going to dance instead. So, you know, you don't always have to do everything every day. And I don't. And that question leads me into another question that I get is, why did I start a soap business or bath and body? Mostly people just ask soap. But yeah, I started this business really because it was a hobby. Like I said, I just love creating or figuring things out, and I love to do different types of hobbies, just, you know, be more versatile. So yeah, I just wanted to make soap because my aunt made soap, and I'm like, how do you even do that? Like, how do you even figure that out? Who told you how to make soap? So I watched videos, Google University, of course, and I have books as well. I just learned from there, and I enjoyed making soap. And then as I kept researching, I learned that a lot of the soaps that I did use were not actually true soap. They were basically synthetic detergent, which, ooh, like, I mean, I guess it's not terrible, but that's not what you told me it was. So I just kept researching other things, and I was like, oh, okay, why are all these ingredients in there? Is it to make the product cheaper? You know, so just, some things were just, I felt like were harmful to my skin. So I did more research, and I started creating everything, I started replacing everything that I use with something that I make. And so you start creating too much, you start to give it away, and after a while you need to, you know, keep paying for stuff. So I started selling it, and then people were telling me it was great, so I just kept selling it. And now, and I just love being an entrepreneur too, because this isn't my first business, which I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, that's why I started the business, just to, you know, help myself and then help others. So speaking of my business, I do get people asking me where I got the name for my business, and it is very simple. It is Charmed Bath and Body. So the charm is the first part of Charmise, and ED from Charmed is Idris, ED. I hope I'm doing this right. If not, I will just flip it around. But yeah, so Charmise Idris is Charmed Bath and Body, because of course Bath and Body products. So if you know me, you know I like to put my name on stuff. I have a different kind of name, and At one point in my life, I decided, yeah, you're gonna have to learn my name. You're just gonna, I know it's difficult. All my names, because Sharmise Idris, Sharmise is my first name. Idris is my middle name, which people think it's my last name, but my last name is difficult kind of to read too. So yeah, I just like to put my name on stuff. So Charmed Bath and Body. So question number 10 actually comes from a video that I recently put out where I mentioned that I have 7 streams of income. So people wanted to know 7 streams of income, state them. So my first stream of income, which is my full-time job, is where I really don't do much. It is a customer service job where I have to answer phones and emails, but I only get like 1 email maybe a day, if that, or 1 call, because it's a health and wellness app and people call me if it goes wrong. And luckily it doesn't go wrong often. So I don't really do much, and I do work from home. I've been working from home since last March, which has been amazing for me and my business and my relationship, because now I can get on his nerves all day. My first stream of income is my full-time job, which I don't think I would be quitting anytime soon unless they make me go back to work, because it's kind of pointless to spend 10 hours sitting there doing nothing but watching Netflix, which is great. But now I'm used to being at home and being able to create and also make these videos. So yeah, I'd rather do this. But yes, first stream of income, full-time job. Second stream of income, Charmed Bath and Body Etsy. So that's what this channel basically is. This is my, talking about my Etsy account. And then I also, my first business was actually a photography business where I did portraits and wedding photography. But then I bought a photo booth, and the photo booth kind of just took over everything. So I was like, well, once I got Charmed Bath and Body, I was like, I don't need to do photography anymore. It's taking up my time. So I just got a, just turned it into a photo booth company. So it's Upstate Photo Booth, which is my third stream of income. My fourth stream of income would be my wholesale site, which I don't really take that many orders now. I was doing some private label and then some like subscription boxes type thing, which is separate from my Etsy, so I count that as well. So my fifth stream of income is just a small little business I have with my boyfriend. We just decided one day to try this out, but it will be getting replaced soon. And also the photo booth company, I will be selling it after my birthday, because Charmed is my life now, and so is YouTube. And then I also get money from affiliate marketing from Amazon. So whenever you guys purchase like a melt and pour soap, if I have the link down there, I do get a small percentage of that. And then my YouTube channel, because now I get paid from YouTube, which leads me into my next question. Did I start my YouTube channel to make money? And no, I actually did not. Of course, I knew you could make money because I only made it a year ago, and who doesn't know you can make money on YouTube at this point? So I started this YouTube channel because I had a wealth of information I learned for my business and from my business, and I'm not gonna make an ebook anytime soon, a course, and I'm definitely not like talking to people in person because I am so awkward. Side note, if you're ever messaging me and it seems a little awkward, it's me. I'm sorry. I'm just weird. I know how to speak to people, but I don't know how to keep a conversation going, especially if it's small talk. I can't. I just can't. So yeah, I decided to start this YouTube channel because I had that information, and why not just, give it away. I didn't know that I was actually going to be able to help people, and I am so glad that I do get to help people, because I know I was struggling trying to find information, and I know there are people before me, which I've gathered some information from, and like I said, Google and books, my life when it came to starting this business. But I felt like if I could add something a little bit different and give it to you for free, why not? And mostly this YouTube gives me a way to create recipes without always having to sell them. Of course, I still do give them away or use them myself, but I had a bunch of recipes and different variations of recipes, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with this information? So the ones that I do not sell, well, actually some of them I've given you already, but the ones like coffee scrub, I don't sell scrubs, but I like to use the scrub. So I did a video on that. So I get this next question a lot when I say I sell on Etsy. And this question is, do you make a lot of money on Etsy? Of course, that is subjective to what you mean by a lot of money. My first year in business, I made maybe $5,000, almost six. I can't even think of exactly how much, but it wasn't that much. Like it was cute. But my second year, which was you know, as of January 2020 to December 2020, I made 36,000. It might have ended up 38,000. I haven't checked it, but yes, I consider that a lot. Of course, other people may not, and you know, it's just subjective. So I think that's a lot of money. Of course, it's not as much money as my full-time job, and I did sink all that money, not sink, that's a weird word, but I did put all that money back into my business because I have a full-time job and a business, so I didn't feel like I needed to pay myself. But now I do pay myself, so it's even more rewarding. So yeah, I guess I make a good amount of money. I can't live off of that money because some of it inevitably needs to go back into the business, taxes, and then paying myself is like last. So a good amount of money. So we have gotten to the last question, the 13th question, and yes, I have had to switch from natural light to artificial light because I have been recording so long. The sun has gone down. But yes, do I have any advice for beginning entrepreneurs and small business owners? Now, this is a very broad question, which I usually make people break down. Like, what are you asking? Because this is a lot. Because this could be a whole 30-minute video of advice and things I have learned in my time in business and in retail really too. So I'm just gonna bullet point these for you just to make it easier for this video and not make it 40 minutes long. So the first thing I would have to say is make sure you prioritize customer service, because customer service can get you so far. And I know the customer is not always right, but you always need to be professional and respectful. The second thing I would have to say is to be consistent, and that is in everything you do. You need to be consistent. If you know you need to be researching formulas, or you know, testing out things, or basically advertising every day. So if you need to post to social media 3 times a day, then that's what you need to do. And I'm kind of talking to myself on that one because I am slacking in that area. But yes, you need to be consistent in what you do, because that will get you so far. Like, I would not be as far as I am in life or from where I was if I wasn't consistent. And if I was even more consistent, I would be even further in life. So I'm still working on that. Next, I would say, which I'm kind of late to the party on, is to join Facebook groups, like the candle groups on Facebook, body butters and scrubs groups on Facebook, because you can learn a lot. I know people who are watching this are not just bath and body people, but there's a group for a lot of different types of people on Facebook. Even if you don't have a Facebook, that's fine. Just make a Facebook and join these groups, because you can get a lot of free information, and you can even post in these groups, and people who know better than you can help you. So there are people who've been making candles for 30 years in some of these candle groups, and they will be like, no girl, wake up. But anyway, so yes, and I have just started joining these groups, and that would have gotten me so much further in the beginning if I was able to reach out to people, because like I said, I am an entrepreneur. I'm not entrepreneur, well, that too, but introvert, and it's so hard for me to reach out to people. But if I can like sit back and watch people in a Facebook group and like read the comments and stuff, that helps me too. So fourth, I would say, is to find a balance between what you do. So this was something that was difficult for me because I do everything in the house now. Right over there is where I work my full-time job. Right back there is where I work Charm to Bath and Body. And then here is where I watch TV and, you know, relax and stuff, which is kind of stressful because it's all in the same room. So I always feel like I need to be doing something other than relaxing. But you need to find your balance between self-care, you know, relaxing, You know, being around people who you love and stuff. I know it's a pandemic, so I'm not gonna say be around them, but you know, yeah, do that. And then, you know, doing your work, because if I worked all day every day like I feel like I need to, of course I'll be further, but I may not want to do it anymore. And that's very honest, because although I do work hard, I'm not trying to work more than 12 hours on my business right now, because I do have a lot of things going. And when I slim those down, then I won't mind working more than 12 hours on my business. But I have to find my balance so that I'm still passionate about what I do. So the last thing I would have to say is to try your best to not compare yourself to other people's journeys. Now, of course, that is way easier said than done, but in the beginning, I would see other YouTubers and small business owners and, you know, entrepreneurs saying, you know, I quit my day job, I'm, you know, living my best life, blah, blah, blah. That's not where I am in my journey. I'm a little bit of a late bloomer when it comes to certain things, but I'm also a very calculated person. So I'm not quitting my job until I know that I can pay myself the same thing that I get at my job. And I have to have insurance. And right now, that is one of the things that is keeping me at my job, is my insurance. And my job is not a burden. Now, if my job became a burden, I would have to bump up what I'm doing in my charmed bath and body business, or, you know, my side hustles, so that I can quit. But as long as it's not hindering, like seriously hindering, I don't feel like I have to quit my job. And then in other things, like, you know, pricing your products, you may go on Etsy and you see somebody selling body butter with like shea butter, cocoa butter, mango butter for like $3, which I don't think I've seen, but you know, people go cheap, so like $5. I've seen that, and I'm like, girl, I cannot sell that for $5, because that's just not where I am. And you don't know where those people are either. Either they can be very far in their journey where they get everything in bulk, so they can do that, or they're not making any money, and that means they won't be around in the long run, or they may be in debt. So that's why I try not to compare myself, because I know even if you started at the same time as me, you're probably not where I am in my journey because of how I do things. You know, my environment, my location, my mindset. You may not be where I am, and I may not be where you are. So I find it best to not compare myself to other people. And there's a lot more things that I could state, you know, advice wise, but those are the most important things. So if you have gotten this far in the video, thank you so much for watching and wanting to know about my life. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications, and that's all. Bye.